Anything agenda? Yeah, that's the answer.
No. That was just the additional.
Oh, well,
Want to share it with me?
no, oh, no.
Yeah.
No, I'm.
Wish I'm a good listener.
Oh, no.
It's already there. I'm sitting down. You have to get up again.
Mayor?
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
Would you like?
Okay, I'll take that part. Yeah. And everything's beautiful. If I have a question, I'll just buzz in.
I can screw things up just sitting down.
Only many.
All right, call the meeting to order. All right, class. Roll call has been taken. Everyone is here, including Randy, who's up in the Northwoods. You had a lot of snow last night, Randy?
I'm in the free state of Florida for a few days, so I've got a couple of meetings. So no, I couldn't tell you if there's snow up north or not.
Twenty 23 regular meeting. Thank you. Thank you. We have a motion in a second. Any corrections, changes, comments? Hearing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Huh, that came through.
It's working now.
Okay.
It just, there was a few moments on your end I didn't have any audio, so it's working fine now. Thank you.
All right. And how do you like the all-inclusive adults only resort?
Well, it's adults only. I wouldn't say it's all inclusive.
All right. Fire service and law enforcement news update.
Thank you. This month was a difficult one to assemble. I had almost 24 items in my notebook, but I put together what I thought were some of the more significant ones. On the fire service line of duty deaths, please note, once again, medical emergencies, medical incidents, heart attacks. 4 firefighters die in Mayday incidents. Vehicle crashes. And North Dakota officer struck fatally while sitting on spike strips. And after I assembled these, we had another medical emergency, usually a heart attack or a stroke. One of the plainclothes officers fatally wounded, responding to a robbery at a cannabis shop. Continuing on, another motorist enters a crash scene, struck 2 firefighters and 2 police officers. That's in the Denver metro area. The most interesting one came from South Carolina. An officer received gunfire through his squad windshield, lost his right eye in that event. And the county council, which was similar to the county board, approved $500,000 to install bulletproof glass in all of the police cars in every agency. Again, 2 more large city departments reporting significant shortages and usual reasons to find a place, lack of support, low pay. We've got several pages about some policing problems because of population boom. The more important one here, I have 2 sets of information about Portage, Wisconsin. Fire department is going to be having a public safety referendum to provide funding for manpower to take over EMS services. Pages from that. And then the fire station design and style awards were published in November. If anybody's interested, if you have all of the data, pictures, and so forth. But what I did, and I've been doing this for a very long time, I took all of the facilities, listed those by department, state, square footage cost, and the dollars per square foot, and you can see how these go. I calculated the means, the medians for all of those items. And what I found through the years, when you're looking at the average costs and the medians, it gives you a good approximation western and up regionally. They don't vary too much. I would point out there are a couple outliers here, most notably San Francisco, which had almost $2,200 per square foot. They had to travel filings in the San Francisco Bay to support a fire station. And we had some renovations additionally, considerably lower costs than some of the others. And again, if anybody's interested, I do have all the material with me today so you can take a look at some of the particular projects. And then I got 2 other items here. One, I think you may have seen this one. Our department participated in a joint operation. This was from the Tribune Record Cleaner from Clark County. This appeared with them prior to appearing here. And then Cornell is purchasing a new piece of apparatus. $339,290. And they plan on paying that off in a 10-year payback period of 2% interest.
What apparatus did they get for $300,000?
That wasn't specifically stated. Normally they'll say truck or tanker. So I assume this is his, engine.
Okay,
That does sound more in line with like a tanker as far as pricing. Engines are much higher right now. I think that's where the price would be coming out.
I figured it was just a Ford 250.
Might be that as well.
Seems like that's what they go for. Okay, that's it then. Thank you, sir. Approval of the fire department bill. Chief,
You'll see two sets of bills, December 27th, by Commissioner Meek and, January 10th, Commissioner Hanson. Nothing I pulled out there. Any questions? Ask for your approval, please.
Move to approve.
thank you. Is there a second? Questions about the fire department bills that you presented? Wow, you're getting off easy this morning. There are no questions. Those in favor, motion say no, yeah, go.
Hanson,
Yes.
Meek,
Yes.
Hager,
Yes.
Gershman,
Yes.
Keel.
Yes. And is that, that runs it for the fire department at this point? You're done with bills?
Yes.
Only one?
That's it.
Okay. Approval of the police department bills, chief.
Sure, thank you.
In your packets, I believe you have 3 sets of bills. One was signed by Commissioner Gershman back in December 27th, and the others yesterday by Commissioner Pinker. In the December 27th rather, there was one item of note that I noticed. There's $1,000 or there's money for Motorola for a new radio. See if I can find the on for you. It's signify the page, unfortunately. However, it's about $3,500, but only $1,000 of that comes out of our budget. That was an insurance claim on an incident. We dropped a radio and accidentally ran it over, and so insurance covered it. And they're about $4,500, so we were happy that that happened. Other than that, we didn't have any items that I noticed. However, I'd be happy to answer any questions before you approve them.
Fire department runs into doors and you run over radios.
Well, busy departments, cause things to happen.
Oh, yeah. Any comments or questions about the police department bill? Motion to approve.
So moved.
Thank you. Is there a second? Thank you. Any comments or questions? And I assume we have to have a roll call for this one.
Hanson,
Yes.
Meek,
Yes.
Hager, Gershman,
Yes.
Keel.
Yes. So that part of our agenda is complete. Fire department activity.
For department activities, you'll see a couple things. Obviously, busy month. December 5th, Deputy Chief Mueller, myself participated in a ISO training. First is a company that's overseeing the insurance service office. We are due for a reassessment in 2024. Currently, we're class 3 and close to becoming class 2. We're currently analyzing the internal and external resources needed to complete the process. Just giving the commission notice that it's a possibility we'll need additional resources to complete this coming up. Obviously, we're down a staff member and it's quite comprehensive, but just letting you know that that's coming. Also, this month, Commissioner Pinker requested Deputy Chief Mueller to gather information on the Walmart fire in Sparta. was able to contact the department, put together a very comprehensive memo that you got this morning. And I'll let Everett present that.
Good morning. Like I said, Commissioner Panker had reached out and asked that I look into the Walmart fire down in Sparta, Wisconsin. That was about 160,000 square foot store, and it was incendiary in nature, meaning that someone actually started a fire. In that situation, 2 of the sprinkler heads were activated in the building, which really helped to sustain that fire into one little area. I think that that's a big piece of that. If they hadn't had the sprinkler in there, there'd have been a much larger loss as far as the structural, but it was a complete loss inside the entire structure. It was about $8.1 million is what the cost was to the real to Walmart itself. And they were unable to open. I think the first day that they were actually able to open their store was Sunday, January 2nd. That's when they could open the grocery side up. And the rest of the store, they were still replacing contents, and that there really is no known time on when it's going to be. So like I said, large store. They had some major things and things to tackle with that store. They have kind of a smaller to over there, and they were able to get a good attack on it right away. Able to open up tops to get the smoke and everything ejected out as soon as they possibly could. One thing that they did say was the police department was very good to help them in that situation. They were able to pull footage right away and get a subject, and that's where they ended up taking the 17-year-old into custody. And once they got her into custody, they were able to get her to admit to the fire and that she had started it with a lighter. And starting the lighter, she really didn't think it was going to take off like that, and it said that she hadn't anticipated it. With that being said, you know, this is something that probably could have been alleviated, and that goes into my recommendation for ours. This really gave me a chance to kind of reflect on what our department does well and then what we can still continue to do better. Some of the things that we do fire prevention inspections here. That helps us to go in and look at all those systems that are inside these public buildings. We do about 1,335 public buildings within our jurisdiction. That comes out to about 1,929 inspections for those businesses. And in that time, we found roughly 692 violations, and we've corrected at least 666 during that time. And that's in 2023. Those are the records that have come out. So we do quite a few things as far as our fire prevention program here. And on top of it, we also do education programs such as a fire prevention week, school visits, fire extinguisher training, smoke alarm installation, youth fire safety programs. And one specifically in that youth fire safety program, that would have helped in this situation with the 17-year-old. If we could have identified her earlier in the time, we probably could have stopped the situation from actually happening. Maybe we could have taught her, you know, what the repercussions are of getting into youth or into the criminal system. Right now, she's going to be waived to an adult court, and that's something that probably could have been alleviated if we would have caught it in time. So we do offer those educational opportunities here. In addition, just making sure we take a look at our emergency preparedness. We continue to do that each year. We update all of our IAPs which are incident action plans for much of our, like Maple Fall Fest, the fair, things like that. But we're continuing to develop more, so we do have a plan and a sustainable plan. Again, coming back to adequate staffing, I know we've all talked about adequate staffing, but making sure that we have the staff there so that we have the availability and time. If we run into a situation, we need to plan for our worst day, not always our best day. So that's one thing that we continue to do down here, is to make sure we have that. And also making sure we have adequate resource staging. We've got a timely manner. Within 2 minutes, 2 to 3 minutes is what we're trying to shoot for. At least that's the ISO standard and also the NFPA standard. So those are things we're going to continue to identify down here with our strategic plan. But this really gave a good opportunity. I appreciate Bill or Commissioner Panker reaching out to me and asking me to look into this one. Give us a little bit more insight into a little bit about fire and what we need to do in our situation. Any questions? I'll gladly take them.
Questions? Really wonder what it is that motivates a 17-year-old to start any kind of fire in a store.
I think in this situation, she probably started fires and other things and never really got to that capacity. You know, when she was there and worked other places, and you know, she started it here, and unfortunately it took off. The area of origin that she actually started was in kind of the yard section of the sewing area. So that's a very high fuel load, and that took off quickly. So luckily, the two sprinklers activated the way they were supposed to. They held it back and then they came over the ditch and three-quarter line and were able to clean that up. But I think that's kind of how that works, especially with the Wildfest program.
The building wasn't a total loss.
No,
The contents were,
due to the smoke damage, it wasn't from, they're going to sprinklers that actually activated. So it wasn't from water, it was mostly from smoke.
yeah,
And the structure was saved, so there's no real damage to the structure at all.
thank you.
You're very welcome.
Anything else? Nothing. Approve the request to start hiring process for a firefighter paramedic in the second quarter. Chief,
You'll see in your packet a memo that I drafted on January 3rd. Obviously, that was before we heard about Essentia backing out, but everything is the same on it. In short, hiring process takes a long time. So just want to get the approval to be able to start the process of advertising and getting ready for a firefighter that was put together for the second quarter of this year. We need to start that process now so that we can onboard someone in that time. Whether we're going to get the other two because Essentia has backed out for the motion of the Common Council, that's yet to be seen. But we need to prepare for that starting now. And I'd ask your permission to do that.
so we need a motion. Who is there a second to Steve's motion?
No second.
You know if you're second? Because we don't have wording for a motion yet. But we'll get there, right? You can make it up, correct?
Do you want me to?
Yeah,
Okay, the motion will be to approve the request from Interim Chief Clements to move forward with starting the hiring process for a firefighter paramedic in the second quarter and recommend approval to the finance budget and personnel committee at Common Council.
that's what you're moving, and that's what you seconded. Any comments or questions? Hearing none, we'll ask for a roll call on that.
Hanson,
Yes.
Meek,
Yes.
Hanker, Hirschman,
Yes,
Keo.
Yes. Motion carries. So, Chief, just begin doing it.
Thank you.
Police department bills, activities, training reports.
Thank you. I guess better late than never is kind of our motto for this month. We had some snafus in our office, so we were late with some activity, with some information, including our activities and IBR reporting. But we do have it now. In review of the activities, doesn't look like there's anything that's really out of the ordinary. We were active with some training and again some community oriented activities, but I'd be open to answer any questions before you place on file.
Any comments or questions? Well, you had another busy month.
Yeah. Finish up with the cop.
Really well. That's an activity that both we and the kids that we're shopping with really get a kick out of, and it's a lot of fun. It went well.
All right. Place that one. Thank you. Presentation of new core values, police department, and a request approval. This is a typical circumstance for the commission. This is our first look at this. And so I would prefer if we didn't approve it, like the council does, get a good look at it, think about it, and then come back to it next month. All right.
I'm fine with that. Are there any questions in the forefront? No.
Yeah, well, we can look at it just now and see if anyone has anything.
Sure.
Did the rest of the commission agree with that?
Yes, that's fine.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
I just make one comment about these. I found interesting that many of these directly relate to what's in the values that the city has put. So we got one, two, there's about 5 items there, really directly, very pleased with that.
Okay, just a quick glance, I don't see anything other than good stuff, so,
It is something that, after you guys have a chance to review it, that I would like to have, just explain how the process of getting to these values, which, to me was probably the most eye-opening and fun to watch. A lot of members of our department really worked together and I found a lot of, really neat things that our kids are doing. And we would like to share that with you in a future meeting.
you know, that's, you know, the old saying, the journey is sometimes better than the destination.
Very true in this case.
You learn a lot about yourself and each other. All right, the next thing on the agenda is an update on the Marshfield Professional Police Union contract.
Thank you. We were able to reach a tentative agreement. I guess nothing is signed off and approved yet, but it looks very well. I'm very proud to say that we've met twice and we're able to reach a pretty fair, pretty common ground in that time. And I think that's a tribute to the union's commitment to our department and our city, as well as administration's commitment to providing a good service to our community. So it seemed to have come together pretty well. I hope in the very near future, next meeting, that we'd be able to share all of the final agreement with folks. So just a quick update and be able to answer any questions that I'm able to at this point.
No questions?
So just
Yeah, go ahead.
on page 12A, Chief, Article 19. I like
I'm sorry, I didn't hear.
Article 19.
Yeah.
I think it's an excellent addition.
Yeah.
I will, Randy, you had started to say something.
Yeah. I just have a question. Are we? I know this is an outline that's not signed yet, but I mean, can we actually give you some input on what we think, or it really doesn't matter at this point, does it? Or
That guy is shaking his head sideways. I'm not sure what that means, but I think I know what it means. Randy, can you hear us at all?
yeah, no, I can hear you now. I'm not sure why it went out again.
He's
So
responding, so I
okay.
can't. It's pretty desperate when he looks at where it's plugged in.
Yeah.
Oh, there we got you.
All right, I can't read lips.
All right, go ahead. You were gonna make a comment, and when you started, the sound went out, so, begin again, please.
Yeah, so my question is, I know the city does the negotiation and we do have a member of our commission, but
You know, we get a perfectly good picture, which would seem to be far more complicated than sound. Been doing sound since the 20s, the 1920s. And every time I'm involved with this kind of stuff, it's the sound that gets messed up. I can't figure out why the least complicated part of it failed. Maybe it's a tech guy. It's not figured it.
Try it again, Randy.
okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, so my question is, the city negotiates the contract with a member of the Fire and Police Commission. So this case is Andy. So if we have questions or comments, I mean, do you feel that it's appropriate for you to give an idea? And let me just give you an example, like looking at the reimbursement. In the past, we had issues with people turning in the receipts and stuff, but I don't see an exclusion. Let me just say, you know, you could put alcohol in that per diem and there's really not going to be, you know, I just don't know if that's the best idea. Maybe I'm looking at it too much. I mean, that's just one thing I've observed.
Let me comment on that. Until a few years ago, the commission wasn't involved at all in negotiations. We didn't sit in on them, we didn't participate. It was the last time I was the chair of this group that I asked if we could at least be present so that the commission would know what was being decided, because they were deciding things that were, and they don't like hearing this on either side, the city or the end. They're deciding things that are our business. If you look through that contract, there's a lot of stuff in there that is the commission's business. But over the years, somehow got in contract, and getting it out now is impossible. So I thought if we could at least sit and observe what was going on, listen to it, and if there was something that would impact us significantly, we would at least find out about it. I don't know if you know
Yeah,
that.
I mean, just to address Randy's question, the city policy isn't any different. Our reimbursements were, I can't, there's rare occasions where it was less than what the allocated amount was. And that's when we had to turn in receipts and say specifically what we bought each time. What ended up happening, when we were talking, what ended up happening was that we realized how much time and effort we were spending in reviewing and making sure all the numbers matched up in the reimbursements. And it got to be kind of a poor investment, so to speak, on both the city side and on the union side. Consistent with some other departments in our area, we decided to go with a per diem. We do give a $59 or $60, I think now per diem, which is consistent with our federal standards. And we figured that as far as the youth funding, that's the way it goes. The policy is still stay the same and everything. You're right, we don't have a way to verify, but if they violate that policy, we find out there is still repercussions that could happen. I guess I hope that answers your question.
It does. Thank you.
Yeah, what's interesting is that we formally have, as a commission, have no role in negotiation. We have no place. And yet decisions that are made in negotiations certainly affect the day-to-day operations of the department. How it got to be that way over the years, I don't know. And we could never reconstruct. But the fact of the matter is that way. And I think if we have an opportunity to participate, even by sitting there and talking outside of the negotiations about strategies and what's important and so on, at least that gives us some role. if you notice, I didn't vote. I don't think, if you look at the paperwork that defines all of that, there's no place in there for the commission to have a vote in the union negotiations, and that's fine, that's the way it is. Our input comes when we talk to the city about what they should try for, and what they should be willing to give up, and so on. It's an odd situation. It really is. This time, based on my experience with the process, it went very smoothly, and I had a chance to say what I wanted to say in meetings with the city, and what do we call strategy meetings or whatever. I had an opportunity to have my 2 cents worth there, and I think that, I don't know if it made a difference or not, but we came out, I think, in a good place for both the city and the commission and the union. Anyway, my story. Randy, you got anything else?
That's it. That's it for me. Thank you.
We don't have any approval role in this. This is rather information. And the details having to do with dollars and so on will come when the city will formally announce the contract. So, anything else? Go down here. Now, the final MOU between the United School District of Marshfield and the City of Marshfield Police Department. I had a brief conversation with the superintendent. As far as
Well, it wouldn't be a meeting without talking about a therapy dog. I think we finally have reached an agreement both with the city and the school, and I think we're in a good spot. I would just ask if we could approve signing this MOU and moving forward with it.
And the MOU, just so it's on the record for us, what does the MOU include?
There's a copy in the packet for you. Essentially, it lays out the working relationship between our department and the school in relation to the therapy dog. It protects the school with some things that they're concerned about, to include if a student has allergies to dog, or to ensure that we are having insurance for the dog and training the dog and everything like that. And it lays out what we expect to use a dog for, and so the school can respect why we're getting this program, and to understand that we're using this in order to bring a service to the students and the school. So I think after having our legal review it and hearing back feedback from the school, and I think we're in a good spot and a place that we can move forward.
A question I've gotten from a neighbor, going to use a dog to search lockers for drugs.
This is a different training for the dog. There's a drug dog has a lot stronger drive, and to have a therapy dog with the drive that would be necessary for an effective drug dog, the two don't meet very well. That is something I looked at one point, and it doesn't sound like it's a common thing that would be able to happen.
Any questions for the chief about therapy dog?
I just have one. You guys were writing your own, the school district was writing their own. Is this a hybrid of the two, or is it, did you just go with theirs, or just?
Well, really yeah, it's a good question. So what ended up happening is that we were under the understanding that since we were proposing the therapy dog, that we should do the work to write the MOU. And the school simultaneously thought that they should do the same, and the communication fell through. In looking at what our former MOU, the one that we wrote rather, and then comparing with this one, it encompassed a lot of the things that we had in our MOU. So I brought this one forward to half just to ensure that I wasn't missing anything and seemed to think that this one was just fine. With a couple of minor changes.
Okay, anything, more? Now, I am not sure, we need to approve the MOU for you to go forward and acquiring the therapy dog, is that correct?
It's my understanding if we could sign it, I thought that it was approved to move forward with the program before. This is just clearing up the MOU that we could sign and have on file for both us and the school.
We did approve the acquisition of a therapy dog previously. Do you want a separate commitment from the commission about the MOU?
I don't know that it's necessary. I think as long as we can get it signed and move forward, I think all of my boxes are checked, so I would yield to the opinion of the commission, what they feel about.
What do the rest of you think? We need to have a,
This is the exact one that's being presented to the board. School board.
Sorry,
This is the exact same thing that's being presented to the school board.
Yeah.
They decided yet.
it's my understanding that this has gone through all those processes and they're waiting for our response. Okay.
The ball is in our court.
Yeah.
I tell you what, somebody, and I don't know, we don't, we need a roll call. Somebody make a motion to approve the MOU, second it, we'll vote and we're done.
I'll make a motion to approve the MOU.
Second, we have a motion and we have a second to approve the MOU as presented. All in favor of that motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. The MOU has been approved by the commission. You go forward in whatever way you need.
Just need your signature.
Well,
Get an hour, I can wait. Either way.
that's fine. That and the $10 bill and you got my signature.
Only $10.
No, I'm cheap. Is there anything more to bring before the group?
Yes. And this regards the transmission problem.
Yeah.
I'm part of the committee that was periodically in Wausau. The meetings are posted through Marathon. And one of the items on the posting is remote access, is a remote access list. Is a meeting. One and a quorum of physically present people plus people on the remote access site. We lost the remote access site. In December, we had a meeting. We had a physical quorum present. And we had 3 people utilizing the option for off-site access. And that was posted in the meeting. The off-site portal failed to operate in parts of the opinion from the Corporation Council. At that point was, since it was posted in the meeting, that portal was not available. Access to terminated that point and sadly decision. City Attorney Council has come to code access, but this was a case where it was posted in the meeting.
We had a similar situation in the university system. So I'll say to our technician, make sure it works. All right, is there anything more? Hearing none, I'll ask for a motion to move into closed session.
I should move into closed session.
Second.
We have a motion, we have a second. We need roll call for that.
Yes.
Hanson,
Yes.
Mead.
Yeah.
Baker,
Yes.
Hirschman,
Yes.
and Keel.
Yeah. We have had a motion to go into closed session.